and not just myself. So, if you Pickering bunch could just... That's better. Now we can get going. But first, some introductions, earliness being no excuse for rudeness. I am Dr. Benjamin Franklin, and I welcome you to the city of my birth. These good people are immigrants from across the ages, as indeed are we all. Here is dear Mary Anton, ever cheerful. She arrived from Russia in 1894 and went on to become one of this city's most famous authors, and the rather exceptional Mistress Phyllis Wheatley. Bought as a slave on the docks of Boston in 1761, she was fortunate enough to be educated by the Wheatley family that bought her. And among the menfolk we have Governor John Winthrop, the founder of this great city. And, of course, there's the rabble-rousing pamphleteer, a bit radical for my tastes. And there's Master Patrick Kennedy the Cooper, an immigrant from Ireland during the famine, and the first in a line of great Americans. And we have Signori Nicola Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti, two Italian anarchists who immigrated to Boston in the early 1900s with dreams of creating a better world. Welcome to you all. Now, let's go to Boston, shall we? We must go back, not to the first Americans, the Indians, as there's a whole other story, but to the beginning of Boston, to Mr. Winthrop and his noble venture to create a new land called New England.
Austerity is to do justly, to love mercy, to walk humbly with our God. For this end we must be knit together in this work as one man. We must delight in each other, labor and suffer together. We must consider that we shall be as a city upon a hill. The eyes of all people are upon us.
A city on a hill, all eyes upon us. Ah, stirring words indeed. But the colony was subject to outside influences. One of the more insidious was the practice of slavery. But Bostonians were never so enamored of their slaves as other Americans. Mistress Wheatley here benefited from the unusual opportunity of being educated in literature and the arts. As a published poet, she was not only a curiosity for her time, but a frontrunner in the effort to achieve a freedom which her people did not gain easily.
To His Excellency, General Washington. Proceed, great chief, with virtue on thy side. Thy every action, let the goddess guide.
I thank you most sincerely for your polite notice of me in the elegant lines you enclosed. However undeserving I may be, the style and manner exhibit a striking proof of your poetical talents. I am, with great respect, your obedient, humble servant, George Washington.
Ah, Boston. Many saw it as a cultured place, as a beacon of civilization. But as the city began to attract more foreigners, it discovered itself to be, much as any other place, subject to unfounded fears and petty prejudices.
Awaken to your posts, good citizens of this great land! Shut the gates!
Unrestrained and overwrought, to say the least, the pamphleteer and rabble-rouser. Every city has one. Usually several. And in Boston, in the 1830s, they succeeded in inflaming the passions of quite a few Bostonians, convincing them that new immigrants would steal their jobs, their homes, their country. But to their credit, most of Boston was more civil. That is, until the 1840s, when famine struck Ireland, causing a massive exodus.
Potatoes are rotting in the earth. The stench of death is everywhere. Today something in the ditch caught my eye. An old man, dead, his lips green from his last meal of grass. Then, not 5 minutes down the way, did I pass a cart, straining 2 oxen, so heavy was it with barley and oats, on its way to England. That sight, more than all the evictions, confirmed to me I must